It's butt whipping time.
It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
That broadcast school has really paid off.
And Christian Peck-Dimit.
Do you want to keep this job? Shut up, listen, learn.
The region's only local sports talk show, discussing it all from the preps to the pros.
What time is it? Game time!
Simulcasting on AM 730 Fox Sports Tri-State, streaming online at nwksradio.net and the Rockingham app.
They are everywhere.
The Blitz is presented by the Insurance Agency, the Farmer State Bank in Oakley, the Cowboy Corner Express, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
1-1 to Beck, and it's hit a long way to left. Could be his first home run. It's gone! 2 hits in the game for Beck, a double and now a homer, the first of his career. It's a 2-run shot. It's 7-0 Rockies.
Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, him pulled on the ground. Fair up the first base line and rolling toward the right field corner. Fermin's in to score. Renfroe rounds third. He crosses Staining. Massey gets waved around. Relay to the plate lane. Massey slides in safely. Pasquantino gets all the way to third. A bases clearing triple. Off the bench, Vinny Pasquantino, jersey buttoned up, breaks the ball game open. It's 7-1 Royals in the bottom of the 6th. Sander with victory at Valhalla.
On clock at 5, Edwards Gordon is there. Backpedals, jabs, shot. Slammed in. Reed parachutes in and it's stolen by Conley. He pickpockets Murray. He gets it off to Reed. Corner, Edwards, aim, shoot, score! Timeout.
Happy Monday morning, everybody. We're back on the Morning Blitz on 102.5 V-Rock, AM 730 Fox Sports Tri-State. Of course, also online, nwksradio.net, the Rockingham app, and video streaming is available. NWKS Radio on Facebook, at NWKS Sports on Twitter, and, of course, YouTube as well at NWKS Radio. So many ways to catch the Morning Blitz here on this Monday, May the 20th. A beautiful morning to kick things off. 59 degrees, bountiful sunshine on a week that is going to be filled with what looks to be some severe weather, including tonight. So be prepared for some severe weather. I even had some on Sunday night with severe weather. That was another thing that took up my Sunday there, Christian, in case you were curious. You know, you were asking about how the weekend went. Well, there you go. Another thing that just kind of popped up on Sunday night. And so that's what happened. Anyway, glad you're with us here on the Morning Blitz. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Not as good as weekend as Christian Peck-Dimit did, who lost a whopping $6 this weekend in his sports bets. How will he ever recover from that?
Christian lost $6 on the Nuggets. Christian lost plenty of other money betting on the Game 7s yesterday. Ross knows this. I don't know if we've talked about this much on the air. I bet in very small, little lame amounts. It's $1 bets. It's $2 bets. Christian threw that by the wayside yesterday, making $5 bets, made a couple $10 bets. Most of them predicated on the Nuggets winning. They did not do that. An eventful weekend. Watched a bunch of movies. Which one? Watched the so there's that new Planet of the Apes coming out. So I rewatched the 3 Andy Serkis ones and the original one from '68. So
the OG.
It's a good one. It's good. But yeah, so there were a lot of movies watched. There were a lot of sports watched between the Royals and the Game 7s and the Game 6 on Saturday. So an eventful weekend, and I should probably stop now. It feels like I'm almost rubbing this in Ross's face. A much busier weekend.
Yes, my weekend was much busier, but that's okay. We don't have a lot of time to dive into how busy it was. This is only a 1-hour program, so. Anyway, we got a full show ahead today with weekend winners and weekend losers. We'll get to some of the leftovers as well at the end of the show for everybody who don't hit on with the weekend winners and losers. As always, you're welcome to chime in on the text line, the number 785-899-2222. 785-899-2222, number part of the Morning Blitz. here on this Monday morning. Get us your weekend winners and losers, because I know we aren't going to hit them all, but we got plenty to get to here on a Monday morning, and let's get it rolling.
There are two kinds of people in this world.
There's winners and there's losers.
Which ones were which this past weekend?
I want winners.
Loser! You're a loser!
It's the weekend's winners and losers on the Morning Blitz.
Want to be a winner, be a winner.
Weekend winners, Christian Peck-Dimit, who you got today?
Weekend winners, I'm probably going where you think I am. We're going on to the NBA hardwood, and we've got both of the teams. So there were 4 teams that advanced this weekend to the Western and Eastern Conference Finals, respectively. But I'm going to single out 2. I've got the Western Conference, the Dallas Mavericks, and of course, I'm sorry to say, the Minnesota Timberwolves. I know that the Nuggets fans aren't thrilled with last night, but Timberwolves fans certainly are, and it really puts this year into a prime position in the NBA to have one of these new young superstars get their first ring, whether that's Jason Tatum for the Boston Celtics, even Jaylen Brown in there, whether for the Mavericks it's Luka Doncic, or for the Timberwolves it's Anthony Edwards. We talked a little bit in the previous weeks about how the NBA currently is sort of going through a change and turning a page over, so to speak, where the era of LeBron James, of Steph Curry, even of Kevin Durant is sort of slowly being pushed onto the back burner. And it all sort of happened very quickly this postseason, with none of them making it to the second round. First time in almost 2 decades that has happened, that none of those 3 players are in the second round, or a team featuring them is in the second round. And very quickly, in the snap of our fingers, we have the Anthony Edwards, the Luka Doncic's on the front page of the league, as this torch is sort of being passed right in front of our eyes. And I'm not saying that means someone from the Western Conference will win the finals. Boston has looked good. Boston has looked historically good this season, and they've basically cakewalked through the Eastern Conference playoffs. But I said it. I don't know if I said it in these words, but I've certainly believed it for a while, that Boston's very good, but that Nuggets-Timberwolves series that we just watched finish up last night was the NBA Finals. In all due respect to Boston, who, now that I said that, will probably win the finals. I think that Timberwolves versus Nuggets series was 2 of the 3 best teams in the NBA. It's unfortunate that it happened in the second round, but I've got the Timberwolves as a winner of this weekend. We're not scared of the moment. Went into Denver last night and did what they've done all postseason, which is not give a darn about how big how bright the lights are, how big the moment is, how good their opponents are, because Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic and the rest of the squad has been there before, has done that, has balled their way all the way into June and won a championship. They did it just last year. However, they used their defense, did the Timberwolves, and they used timely shots from Ant Edwards, who started very slow in this game. Karl Anthony Towns, even Gobert, got in on the big shots last night. They had a big stops defensively, and this Timberwolves team certainly a winner of the weekend. They held the Nuggets to, get this, Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic combined for 69 points, just shy of 70. The rest of that squad, the rest of the Nuggets squad, outside of Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, scored 21 points last night. 21 points between the entire rest of the squad, between the other 6 players. That's ridiculous. That cannot happen. That cannot happen in a win or go home game. It cannot happen in a closeout game. It cannot happen at home. But regardless, they become now the 6th straight NBA champion not to advance past the second round in a row that has happened. So the Nuggets lost and the Timberwolves winners of the weekend, and squeezing sort of into this same category is the Dallas Mavericks, who have struggled for years. I know they made the Western Conference Finals a couple of years ago, but they got gentlemen swept by Steph Curry's Warriors and had no chance there, really. I think this Dallas Mavericks team has struggled for so long since getting Luka Doncic to put a good team around him. And oddly enough, it all sort of came together very, very quickly this season, where they have the perfect balance of front court depth and shooting, of defense, and of these young athletic stars. And of course, they have Kyrie, the perfect fit next to Luka Doncic. It didn't seem that way on paper for a long time, but that's the way it's worked out. All of them stepped up big, and an unlikely hero for the Mavericks in Game 6 Saturday night, Derek Lively, rookie center out of Duke, had a plus 26 when Dan Gafford, the center who starts over him, was being played off the floor because he was being forced into switches, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander got downhill on him and just cooked him over and over. Couldn't stay on the floor. Derek Lively, forced into 30 minutes of action, was a plus 26. It's a game high, of course. 12 points, 15 rebounds, nearly winning the entire rebounding battle for his team by himself to help complete a comeback win, 117-116. They close out the series and set up a Mavericks-Timberwolves Western Conference Finals. Not what anyone expected, but certainly an exciting prospect nonetheless. Winners of the weekend, the Dallas Mavericks and the Minnesota Timberwolves.
I don't know if Minnesota, in my opinion, I don't know if Minnesota is as much a winner of the weekend as the Nuggets are losers of the weekend, because the Nuggets were up 20 in the third quarter. 58-38. They led by 20. There was a 30-point swing in the second half. I watched most of the fourth quarter. Trust me, I did. I tuned in to watch most of the fourth quarter of that Nuggets game. And all I saw were a bunch of Nuggets who, playing at their high altitude in their home arena, look exhausted. I mean, I don't know what in the world I don't know. I don't think the Nuggets are that old of a team, but boy, they looked old. They looked so old in that game against the T-Wolves, because the T-Wolves just kept coming. Offensive rebounds, second chance opportunities for the Timberwolves were huge late in that game because they were able to get stops. They just didn't get the ball. And the T-Wolves put it in for more points. And, tired legs led to bad shots. And, credit to Minnesota's defense. It was spectacular last night. It was awesome. But then to me, the Nuggets, you're on your home floor. I don't know how in the world the Nuggets, being the defending NBA champs, lose 3 games of that series at home. How does that happen? How do you lose 3 games of a series when you got your own home fans behind you? That was unbelievable to me. Credit to Minnesota. Great showing. Good for them. But boy, and this is no offense to the Timberwolves, I just think the Nuggets are bigger losers and the Timberwolves are winners. When you lead by 20 and you take your foot off the gas and then get beat by pretty much 10 points, you're a bigger loser than the Timberwolves are a winner. Yeah, that's my personal take on it. Watching that game, that should have been a Nuggets advancement. But you know what? Took your foot off the gas. Credit for the Timberwolves for not giving up. And man, that one's gonna burn for a while. If you're Denver, that's gonna burn big time, because you were up big and lost pretty handily. You pretty much gave up from half into the third quarter the rest of the way out. At least it looked that way. Or you got so tired that you couldn't play hard enough. That was sad. That's what was sad to me.
It was. I hate to make you burn one of your losers here in the first segment.
It's fine.
I told you the rest of the squad outside of Murray and Jokic combined for 21 points. The rest of the squad shot 28% from the field. Just terrible.
I don't have the split stats, but I didn't feel like Murray was very aggressive offensively in the late in the third, early fourth, especially in the fourth quarter. I just remember watching a lot of Jokic threes, giving the ball to Jokic, and he was taking a lot of shots. I guess and once again, was I watching extremely closely? You know me, I'm trying to do multiple things at once in my household. But I don't feel like Murray was as aggressive as he needed to be, especially late in that game. I thought Jokic was taking a lot of shots. Michael Porter Jr. was taking a lot of shots, which is fine. I don't have nothing against those guys taking shots, but I just thought, he's probably your number 2 guy behind Jokic. Why is he not out there being more aggressive, hunting for his shots? Once again, credit to Minnesota. Their defense is elite. It was great. Rudy Gobert had some huge free throws down the stretch. That was big. That just kind of kept Denver at bay. But man, if you're the Nuggets this morning, you're sick. You're sick. Up 20 and lose by pretty much 10 points. I know it wasn't the final score, but I mean, that's what it was. I mean, that 30-point swing in the second half. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Murray did end up having 35 points last night, but I don't entirely disagree. I thought the defense on him late in that frame and in that game, especially in the fourth quarter, was really good. Is that an excuse for an all-NBA guy who should be able to get downhill on anybody? No, I don't think so. But I really do think they ran into a buzzsaw of a Timberwolves defense. Does that make you feel any better? No. Should it? No. Especially because you were leading. You saw Mike Malone in his presser last night get, we'll say, pissy with the reporters. And whether or not it was he should be. But no, it was him lashing out. What a stupid question, but it was just something he was unwilling to answer. And you could hear in the background of those videos the Timberwolves celebrating. So yeah, I think the Nuggets are sick to their stomach this morning.
Very, very sick. All right, we're on weekend winners here on the Morning Blitz. Moving on, my winners of the weekend, I'm going to just continue to add to the great success that Northwest Kansas experienced at regional track on Friday. When you added up all the total, so on Friday at the 1A Tribune Regional, there were 65 that punched their ticket to the state track meet, with 16 of them winning regional titles. To go through all 65 was a lot to get through, but I want to highlight a few points that I thought were impressive. Quinter boys, first and foremost, they were great. They qualified Quinter boys and Quinter girls. So the entire school of Quinter, they qualified 23 events for the state track meet at Quinter alone, and they had 4 regional champs. The boys placed first as a team. They were fantastic. They're sending all 3 relays and a majority of their events to the state track meet, highlighted by Bradley Bogert. Bogert won the 400 with a time of 51.89. He won the 300 hurdles with a time of 41.91, and he won the 110 hurdles at 15.07. 3 regional titles for Bradley Bogert to lead the way for Quinter. Lakin Getz also qualified in the javelin with a 186. And my guess is Bogert ran in the 4x4. So Bradley Bogert qualified in all 4 events that he was in. That was a great showing from him. The Quinter boys won the Tribune Regional. They were very good. The girls finished in 4th place. Wallace County boys, they finished in 2nd place. They had a very good showing as well. Keen Dinkle, who, by the way, is teeing off at state golf later this morning. He qualified in the 100-meter dash, multi-sport athlete. Evan Pierce had a phenomenal weekend there in Tribune. He won the mile, 4:43. He won the 800 at 2:06, and he won the 2-mile just for fun at 10:48. The 2, the 1, and the 8 and the half, he won them all, did Evan Pierce. He's one of the great distance runners here. He's been to state multiple times for Wallace County. He's been a star for them in the distance. Been absolutely fantastic. He was a guy who really shined for Wallace County. But their boys placed 2nd, and the girls, they tied for 5th with some very good showings as well. St. Francis girls had a great showing. They placed 3rd. Eden Britton and Breck Lore both qualified in 3 events each for them, including a couple of relays. Rollins County boys had a great showing. They placed 5th. Ryan Schromick qualified in 3 events, including winning the long jump at the Tribune Regional with a jump of 21.9. Emma Weiner, one of the best long-distance runners on the girls' side in our region from Golden Plains. She won the mile and the 2-mile, mile in 5.5, and the 2-mile in 12:22, and then she finished 3rd in the 800 to qualify in 3 events. So some great showings there for some area athletes. And I also want to give a shout out to freshmen who qualified for state track. There were some great freshman performances. First, locally, Carson Wright of Weskin. He's a freshman. He placed third in the 100 and second in the 400 to qualify for the state track meet as a freshman. Wheatland Grinnell's Olivia Ball won the high jump as a freshman with a jump of 5.4 and finished third in the long jump to go there. And then Jalen Spangler of Western Plains Healy, which is outside of our reach a little bit, but she won 2 events and is going to state. And Brody Schrader of Hodgman County is a freshman who jumped 6'4" in the high jump and is going to state as well.
Wow.
So a shout out. So, and once again, it's more to me, and this is no offense to the ladies, but it's more impressive on the men's side. When you're a freshman and you're competing against the seniors and juniors who are more developed than you are, for you to have that kind of success, especially in the sprints, distance a little bit more forgiving, but in the sprints and even in the high jump and stuff like that, that is highly impressive. So once again, a shout out to the great freshman performances at regional track this past Friday in Tribune. Like I said, multiple athletes qualifying in 3 or plus events, which was great. Of course, in Quinter winning the regional on the boys' side, and top 5 finish for St. Francis, Quinter, as well as Wallace County on the girls' side. Just all around great showings from our regional schools. And once again, 65 total events qualified for the state track meet at the 1A Tribune Regional, with 16 of them from the region winning the event. And so that brings the 2-day total up to 106 total events qualifying for the state track meet, with 27 of them being regional champs from our 15 area schools. So 106 events qualifying for the state track meet. That's highly impressive. Congratulations to all those winners of the weekend by qualifying for the Acacia State Track and Field meet coming up here Friday and then into Saturday.
Yeah, lots and lots of winners this weekend. 106 events. Important to remember that those are events. Ross mentioned all of the relays that qualified, including all 3 for the Quinter boys. It's not for sure, but more than likely, each one of those will feature extra athletes. So
yes,
well over 106 athletes from the area representing at the state meet. Congratulations. Huge shout out to all of you. That is a huge accomplishment. We talked about it with Ryan Mosier last week, I believe it was, about specific athletes and how it was their dream or their longtime goal to make it to state. That's not uncommon. A lot of these kids are fulfilling their lifelong goals getting here. That is a huge deal. Congratulations to all of you.
Yep, congratulations to all those. So once again, my weekend winner area state track qualifiers, 106 total events going to the state track meet, with 27 of them winning first at their respective regional Thursday as well when you total it all up. I got a couple more quick winners before we move on here. First and foremost, the Kansas City Royals are another winner of the weekend. They swept Oakland, including an 8-1 victory yesterday. The Royals, folks, are 10 games over 500. 10 games over 500. They are really, really playing good baseball right now. The K kind of has a little bit of a buzz to it from what I've read and seen. So people are getting enticed to come out to the ballpark and watch the Royals after some very ugly seasons. And once again, we're still early in the year, but I do believe in this. If you get off to a good start in the Major League Baseball season, even though it's 162 games, I feel like you're in a much better position than you are if you start out in average to bad position and try to dig yourself out of a hole. You would much rather, of course, obviously be on level ground than trying to dig yourself out of a hole to get in there. So getting off to a better start is certainly exciting for the Kansas Royals. Now 10 games over 500. And then a shout out as well to a couple of golfers. First and foremost, Xander Schauffele, who won the PGA Championship, held off a great push from Bryson DeChambeau and my pick, Victor Hovland, who was a couple putts away from being in the mix right there. But Xander Schauffele winning his first major. Congratulations to him. And like I said, had a nice little ringer that goes around the cup and fell in on his final putt to capture that. That was close. And then another congratulations. Back on the horse is Nelly Korda in the LPGA. She has won 6 of her last 7 tournaments. She had won 5 in a row. She didn't win the 6th. Now she has won 6 of her last 7, has Nelly Korda. She is the premier golfer in the LPGA right now with how good she is. So there you go. My winners of the weekend real quickly there. You have any more quick winners?
Well, I did, but it was the Royals. First off, Nelly's swing has been all over my feed. There is a ton of video of her on social media, and it's every swing. It's one of the smoothest swings I've seen in golf right now. Wildly impressive to get 6 out of 7. The Royals, by the way, with some help from the Twins, who have played some terrible baseball lately, losers of 6 in a row. Yeah, tough. The Royals we were talking last week about neck and neck, Royals and Twins fighting right behind the Guardians for that number 2 spot in the Central. Royals with their winning streak, Twins with their losing streak. KC jumps out not only to a 4-game lead on second place, but they're only a game and a half back from the Guardians, who, by the way, are have won only 6 of their last 10 games, 6-4 over their last 10. So Royals, I don't want to get too ahead of the case, already feeling good about their season, but you got to push here. You're not too far from a run at the division.
Oh, no, right in the thick of it, But once again, we are
long season,
a quarter of the way through the season, roughly, maybe a third of the way through the season. So long way to go. But like I said, I would much rather take a fast start than a slow start, because even if you have a little bit of the dog days of summer where you struggle a little bit, at least you put yourself better position than other teams are at this point in time. So there you go. Weekend winners. Let's get to our first break. Come back. Losers of the weekend coming up shortly. You're listening to the Morning Blitz here on a Monday.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. Like 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Experience all this and more on America's largest 5G network. At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. Switch today. With AutoPay using debit or bank account, plus taxes and fees. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning. This is Kate Thompson with the Anderson Trade Group. Today is Monday, May 20th. And on the overnight last night, July corn traded higher 3.5 at 456. September up 4 at 466.5. December up 4.5 at 481. And March corn up 3 3/4 at 493.25. July soybeans closed higher 3.5 on the overnights at 1231.5. August up 3.5 at 1228 3/4. September up 3 at 1208 1/4. And November beans up 2 at 1205 1/4. Chicago wheat, the July contract higher 18 at 669 1/4. September up 17.5 at 689.5. December up 17 at 713.5. And March soft wheat up 17.5 at 733 3/4. Kansas City wheat, July contract up 19 at 680 3/4. September up 19 1/4 at 694 3/4. December up 19.5 at 716 1/4. And March hard wheat up 19.5 at 733 1/4. On the stock market this morning, the Dow up $6 at 40,143. The S&P up 2 at 5,329. The Nasdaq up 12 at 18,647. Gold higher $1 an ounce at 2,418. And crude oil down 47 cents a barrel at 79.59. If you have any questions about marketing grain or would like to talk about risk management options, give our Colorado office a call. John Hanke at 970-744-4484, or in our Kansas City office, myself, Tom Splitto, Jared Law, or Tuz Ghosh at 913-748-3000.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
There are a lot of inconsistencies when growing soybeans. The soil, the weather, the market. You need something you can count on, like Revitech fungicide from BASF. It consistently outyields other fungicides by up to 9.5 bushels per acre, consistently wins in on-farm head-to-head comparisons, and consistently makes for happy farmers. Revitech fungicide. Visit revxfields.com for full results. Always read and follow label directions. Yield data based on summary of 2019 through 2022 Revex field scale demonstration trials.
At Case IH, we know you work hard all year to maximize your yield at harvest. And to do that, you need a combine that works as hard as you do. That's why we built the new AF11 with more horsepower, more efficiency, and more capacity than any other combine out there. Plus, built-in automation to harvest more easily than ever before. To do more with every engine hour, you need equipment that's as good as you are. You need the best in your field. Visit your local Case IH dealer for more on the AF11.
Mark your calendar for Saturday, June 15th, because we're going to rock the reservoir. Join us at Horse Thief Reservoir on Saturday, June 15th for food trucks, yard games, activities, and America's #1 Guns N' Roses tribute band, Use Your Illusion. A great night of rock under the stars at Horse Thief Reservoir. Saturday, June 15th. And here's the best part. Tickets are just $10 per carload at the gates.
It's the Morning Blitz.
Hey guys, you ready to let the dogs out?
Weekday mornings from 7 to 8 Mountain, 8 to 9 Central on 102.5 U Rock and the Rocking M app.
Welcome back on a Monday morning, May the 20th. Once again, chance of storms tonight. Keep that in mind. Some severe weather in the region. Yesterday it was really bad over in the Hayes, Russell area down to Salina. I saw the reports because, I was trying to watch golf a little bit in the afternoon with the PGA Championship, and they kept breaking in with the storm warning information. And they're about how Salina had 100-mile-an-hour winds. Like, Jiminy Christmas.
Goodness.
So, they were showing a camera live there up on a post, like showing the interstate, and it was like shaking back and forth. That sounds a little dicey. So yeah, there were there's been some bad stuff happening in Russell. I've seen some of the photos with some sheds and stuff ending up in other people's backyards and tree limbs down everywhere. So hopefully everyone's okay there in Russell. But some chances, some more storms coming through the area here, more closer to home here tonight, I believe. So especially if you're up in the kind of the southwest Nebraska area, there's chances for some flash flooding and some things of that sort. So be aware of that as we get going here on this Monday. All right, we're in the middle of weekend and winners and losers. We've got done with the winners. I had the Royals, Xander Schauffele, and Nelly Corda, as well as area track qualifiers. Christian gave love to the T-Wolves for the winners of the weekend and the Mavericks in the Western Conference Finals and the NBA playoffs. So where are you going with the losers? Because I was going to go Nuggets on the losers, but who is your losers of the weekend?
Yeah, I'm sorry to steal that one from you. Believe me, we can talk plenty about the NBA if you want to.
Oh, God, we know.
I've got sort of an interesting loser. This hasn't gone... It's gone around the internet the last few days. It hasn't gone super viral yet, and so we're not sort of getting the athletic, in-depth articles and all of the big stuff that I think we probably will over the next week or so. So hopefully I'm jumping on this early. Not too sure. I'm assuming you've heard this one only because of what the topic is. A loser of the weekend, Birmingham Southern. Very small D3 school, as you might guess, down in Birmingham, Alabama, is permanently shutting down. They're having some financial issues. They asked the state of Alabama for a $30 million bridge loan just to get them through, get them by, so they could sort of get back up and running. Wild that $30 million is just to get you back up and running. The state denied that loan. Then the university or the college sued the state of Alabama. Ongoing legal battles there. Regardless, May 31st, they are shutting down. The only issue with this, their baseball team is darn good. The D3 Birmingham Southern baseball team, as the 3 seed in their region, just won the Super Regional and are headed here to the College World Series. The only trouble here, they will be playing after the college shuts down. There will be no college while they play baseball for said college. That's crazy. I don't know if this is as shocking of a story as it was first to me, but they tore through their regional. They played, get this, Transylvania in game 1. The 2
Transylvania.
They played Transylvania.
Interesting.
And the 32-12 Transylvania fell to Birmingham Southern. Birmingham Southern is the 3 seed. They knocked off Transylvania, the 2 seed. Then Spalding, the 1 seed. Then they knocked off Transylvania again, coming back at them from the loser's side of the region to make it here to the end of their Super Regional. They're moving on. And the College World Series here starts for D3 May 31st. It goes through the first week of June, meaning at the very most, they will play 1 day while their college is still a college. They are going to be playing for multiple days for a college that does not exist. I don't know how that works. I don't know how the funding works for buses, for planes in between games, for hotel rooms, for this and that. I don't know.
Did you just say planes in between games? Did you just say that right, or did I mishear that? Did you say planes in between?
If they had a plane.
Ow, Christian, it's Division 3. They're busing everywhere.
I've got a D2 shirt on right now.
That's fine.
Believe me, I know.
They ain't flying. They bussing.
Regardless of the point, they're going to get buses. They're going to get hotels. How does the funding work? Who's paying their coaches? Who's giving them scholarships? Does it matter anymore?
Well,
I don't know.
I've learned from you that liberal arts colleges have some pretty big alumnus that really like these colleges, so maybe they're funding it.
It's just Hillsdale. But
just Hillsdale.
Just being real. But yeah, that's a crazy story to me.
So pretty much the Cliff Notes version of it is that you got a college that is ceasing to exist, but because the baseball season runs long, they're going to be the last standing thing of that college because it will not operate.
Well, the college,
which honestly, that is kind of how the baseball and softball work, because their seasons, if you're any good, extend past the school year getting over with. You know, like school's already out at LSU, for example. It's already out. Or that's a bad example this year. I'm going to pick a better one. Oklahoma is already out of school. But both the baseball and the softball teams are pretty good this year. They're going to play deep into the postseason. And they're going to play Wallace. So to me, that's not a surprise. They probably had the budget and the funding for the entire season. They're going to find way, though. If not, they're going to call alumni to help fund this to the finish line to make this all happen. I bet you that's what does happen. Interesting fact. I was reading from AL.com. This is an interesting fact, but about one university or college per week so far in 2024 has announced that it will close or merge. Small private liberal arts colleges reliant on private funding sources and lacking state backing have been hit the hardest of all. This statistic is up from 2 closures a month last year in 23. But yes, so there is colleges closing all over the place. And I would guess that, I don't know this for a fact, but I would guess for a reason for this happening is because there is a more need. Because of my generation a little bit more, and I guess ours a little bit, and I'm not going to say because you're quite a bit younger, but we all thought we had to go to 4-year schools and get a 4-year education. We all thought that. And there became a shortage of the jobs that keep the world turning. I'm going to use, for example, electricians, your plumbers, things of that became a lot of shortages. People are realizing that they can go to a trade school in 2 years, be done, get out, and make more money than what other people are going to a 4-year school and accomplishing it. And my guess is that is why you're seeing a lot of these schools lose student population, which means losing funding, which means closing doors. I'm not saying that is the reason why that's happening. I'm saying that's probably a big portion of why that it is happening like that. This, to me, though, this story reminds me of a story from closer to my home. Because one of the great wrestling programs in the college university in the state of Nebraska at the college ranks was the University of Nebraska Omaha. In fact, the University of Nebraska Omaha were the Division II wrestling national champions a few years back. Do you know what they were told when they got home from winning the national championship? They were told by their athletic director, I'm sorry, but this program will no longer cease to exist going forward. They got rid of wrestling. They got rid of football. They closed out a whole bunch of programs at the University of Nebraska Omaha to make a budget cut. And they got rid of all that. They added division, and they decided we're going to go Division I in baseball, in softball, and in hockey. But we're going to get rid of some of the programs. UNO had a great football program and had one of the best, obviously, one of the best wrestling programs in the nation. But even after winning a national title, they closed it. Money talks, obviously, and money is the thing that drives this world. And that story, as you bring it up, which I had not heard until you brought up today at the show, but that reminds me a lot of the UNO story where they shut the programs completely down even after winning a national championship. They said, we're sorry, we're done with this program. We are going to go in a different direction. And I think we're seeing a lot of schools that are smaller schools getting pinched in the budget department because if you're not going to get the state's help, who are already probably strapped for cash, getting pulled in many directions, and you're not going to get the alumni support, because that's where you go next, it's going to be hard to overcome these financial cuts. But I guarantee you'll probably see Birmingham Southern baseball play their guts out to try to go out on top and be a national champ.
You got nothing to lose.
I mean, you don't, but
lose.
you do. So, anyway.
You have absolutely nothing to lose. I hope that they win it all. I really do. I know that this show is big into non-D1, both of us coming from D2 schools. But this is a D3 squad I didn't know about until I saw the story the other day on social media. For all of its many, many, many bad things social media does, give you something like this every now and again. I'm a Birmingham Southern fan for the next like whatever it is, 3 weeks.
What is their mascot? Does anybody know what Birmingham?
I couldn't tell you. Should I have figured that out?
Let's figure out.
Probably.
Look that up during the break. We got to figure out what Birmingham Southern is. But I would be intrigued to know how many. According to this statistic, once again, you're seeing one university or college per week.
I told you.
Is closing this year. And I'm telling you, you're going to see a lot of that stuff.
Just Hillsdale, man. I told you.
Trade schools are up right now, and the smaller schools are down.
As they should be.
And that's the way it is.
They're the Panthers.
The Panthers. All right. Good luck to the Panthers going forward at the Division III College World Series, or hopefully making it all the way there to the College World Series for the CWS or for the Division III. All right. Your question only took my loser. I was going to say the Nuggets, and honestly, probably the NBA is a loser of the weekend because not only did you lose the Nuggets, which you love that storyline of having the defending champs try and make their way back to try to repeat. That always keeps people invested in it. But you also lost the New York Knickerbockers, who lost to the Pacers, and that stings as well because the NBA was wanting a Boston-New York semifinal. They wanted it for the viewership numbers. Instead, they get the Pacers. So the NBA probably a loser of the weekend because of what happened in the playoffs yesterday.
I almost had the Knicks as my loser of the weekend because by the end of that game, by the end of this series, it was just an all-hospital lineup out there against the Pacers. They were all dead, man. I mean, Tibbs already plays his starters like 75 minutes a game and has no bench. Then you have Julius Randle, an all-NBA guy, done for the whole postseason. Then you have OG Anunoby I don't know if they gave him horse tranquilizers or something to play the first 5 minutes of that game, but he missed the whole last 5 games of that series minus 5 minutes. Mitchell Robinson was out most of that series. Josh Hart was a game-time decision and was not 100%. Jalen Brunson not only went into that game as he did many of the last games of that series, not 100%, but he fractured his hand by the end of it. This was a brutal finish for the Knicks. Pacers have one of the easier, more fluky runs to the Eastern Conference Finals than I've seen in a long time. But hey, they're there.
That's right. They are there. All right. That's Losers of the Weekend. Let's get to a break. When we return, we will come back and we will dive into the leftovers. What did we miss from this past week? And we'll hit that next. And I've got an interesting stat in the walk-off to get to as well. You're listening to the Morning Blitz here on a Monday.
The Farmer State Bank of Oakley has been financing agriculture since the day we opened our doors. Hello, this is Corbin, and we are proud to be your locally owned partner in ag. We invite you to come and visit with us when you need to purchase new or used farm equipment, or need any type of agriculture or business loan. We have the knowledge, experience, and financial resources to keep you growing. The Farmer State Bank of Oakley, a tradition of community and agriculture for over 115 years. Member FDIC.
You'll be dancing a jig when you discover Burlington Home Store's changes. It's a big renovation with new products for your home, indoors and out. Stop in for your early garden seeds, tools, and lawn and garden equipment. Look at traps designed to keep your garden free from predators. And be sure to buy all your lumber and building supplies, too. Come in today. See the daily renovation and expansion progress at your Burlington Home Store, 111 Hollowell, West Burlington.
Hello, Ron Schilling here, President of the Sherman County Community Foundation. Are you passionate about making a difference in our community? You love building relationships and achieving goals? If the answer is yes, I would love to talk to you. We are excited to announce that we are hiring a full-time director. The foundation is looking for someone to take us to the next level as we work hard to build Sherman County for future generations. Give me a call at 785-694-3589 to learn more. Sherman County Community Foundation, honoring the past, building the future.
Your livelihood is important to you. You work hard to succeed in your farming operation, crop, livestock, home, vehicles, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery ingestion and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland or call 785-899-5011.
Want to be part of the Morning Blitz?
Don't fight it. Tell me how you really feel.
Send your thoughts to our text line at 785-899-2222.
Well, one big thing that we got to get to wrap up the show today, we certainly cannot forget. It is the 2024 Acacia Boys State Golf Tournaments that get going today across the state. And 5 teams from our region, including 6 individual golfers from the area, will take the course for the opening round. The Cliff Notes Colby's team will be, as well as Goodland's Barrett Slosh, will be competing at the 3A tournament at Emporia's Municipal Golf Course. That's going to get underway here just shortly. Teams from Hoxie, as well as Hill City, and Oakley's Easton Fink and Carter Selensky teeing off in Dodge City at Mariah Hills Golf Course. That's getting underway here in just a little bit as well. And then at the Heston Golf Course, about an hour from now, they're postponed by about, an hour. I think I read they're running a little bit behind, but they have an hour delay right now at the 1A course there in Heston. But that's where you'll see Rollins County and Decatur community teams, as well as St. Francis's Jay Schmoll, Quinter's Cale Hargett, and Wallace County's Keene Dinkle. Once again, Keene qualifying for state track and field as well as in golf. They'll be competing today there in Heston. The stat you have to remember, as once again I went back to the rule book, the top 6 scores by a team and individuals not on one of the 6 teams that bring the 2-day field total to 54 will qualify for the second day. So you can't just completely tank it the first day and be expected to play in the second day.
Got to make the
cut. That ain't
cut.
the way it works. You have got to be able to make the cut. Once again, it's the top 6 teams with their scores, and then the 6 individuals on not one of the 6 teams that bring the 2-day field total up to 54. So there you go. That includes ties, I believe. So there you go. That's what we expect to see today. from the Acacia Boys State Golf Tournament. Is there anything else that we missed in today's program?
I don't know if we mentioned the Rockies, maybe intentionally. They had won 7 straight.
8, right?
Doubled their... Was it 8? I thought it was 7 straight wins. Regardless.
I think they won 8 because they won game 1 against the Giants this weekend.
Yeah,
was that 7? Okay. All right.
7. So they did not win game 1 against the Giants. They got swept by San Fran in San Fran.
That's not true. That's not true.
10-5, 14-4, and 4-1. That's what I'm looking at right now.
Well, they did get swept. You're right. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought they took
so losers of 3 in a row are the Rockies. I think that's the only thing that we missed.
Yes, that is the only thing. Rockies, by the way, Rockies play again tonight. They are in Oakland taking on the Athletics, who the Royals just swept. The Royals at home taking on the Tigers. Big weekend series there between the Tigers and the Royals. That game is at 6:40 Central Time and 7 at KXXX. By the way, Christian got the best of Ross this weekend. The Tigers took 2 of 3 from the Diamondbacks. So
true.
Sad
Which was
news.
nice because we have not been playing good baseball lately.
Oh, jeez. I talked about those teams being stuck in neutral and you're just not having a good start. That would be Arizona, completely stuck in neutral. It's like they're trying to shift into gear and it's just grinding and they're like just back and forth. Oh my gosh, drives me nuts. Anyway. All right, we got to get to the walk-off because we were up against the clock.
A 3-run walk-off home run. A game-winning walk-off with a walk-off.
His second walk-off hit of the season.
In walk-off fashion, that baby's go.
Any final notes before I get to my stat of the day?
I want to hear the stat of the day, and we got to do this more. We got to do stats of the day more.
So last night, I was able to tune in for just a little bit to the very end of regional softball final between the University of Missouri and the previously mentioned on the show, University of Nebraska Omaha, or just known as Omaha now. Missouri walked it off in the bottom of the 9th with a single to win 1-0. The season came to an end for the Lady Maverick softball team. In 2019, the Mavericks finished the season with a wonderful record of 4-43. Yesterday, they put a cap on a season that they made the tournament, went to the regional final, and finished 43-15. What a turnaround from 4-43 in 2019 to 43-15 just a few short years later. What a turnaround. The stat of the day.
Incredible turnaround. That was 5 years ago, though. I mean,
that's still, though, that's with COVID. That didn't exist. A season in COVID didn't happen.
True.
So that was probably 4 years ago if you really want to add it up. But that's a heck of a turnaround. I don't care where you are. To go from 4 measly wins. By the way, also, I saw a great stat from baseball. Shout out Maryland Eastern Shore. It was a terrible year for Maryland Eastern Shore baseball this year. They went 0-43. A Division I baseball program that did not win a baseball game. Shout out Maryland Eastern Shore.
I've got a quick stat of the day.
You got
here.
5 seconds.
Perfect. Knicks in Denver were both up 3-2. Both lost in 7.
See you tomorrow.
KKCI, Goodland, Colby.